Hey guys, how's it going? Yes, I know, another Inspector Nitro. Time for Go Gadget Extendo Dive. Today we'll be talking about Satoru Gojo and House Gojo's technique Limitless. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment below telling me what your favorite cursed technique is. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing I want to mention about Gojo is that he possesses the 6 eyes. This isn't technically a House Gojo technique. It's more of an inherited one in a million technique that any sorcerer can possess, I believe. It hasn't really clarified much on 6 eyes, so we're not going to really talk about that in this video, but just know it's kind of an omnipresent technique that basically makes him be able to see and distinguish everything, seemingly. Now that we've mentioned that, let's talk about House Gojo and Gojo's Limitless Curse technique, which is inherited by Satoru. On a base level, the Limitless Curse technique is the ability to manipulate space on an atomic level. First off, with the Limitless technique, we'll talk about infinity. This is basically the neutral form of Limitless, and it's talking about the space that Gojo can manipulate, in a sense. Imagine you trying to punch Gojo in the face. It's a common misconception that Gojo's actually manipulating the time and causing you to slow down or freeze and stop time so you never hit him. But what he's actually manipulating is the space between you and him, creating an infinity. So what you're actually hitting is that infinity. A good way to explain this, which I like to use, is imagine a ruler. You have point 0 and point 1. Now, technically, there seems to be a finite amount of numbers between these 2 points, but in actuality, 0 will never touch 1. There is an infinite amount of space between 0 and 1, an infinite amount of decimals and fractions that will never allow them to touch. In a sense, that's what happens when you try to hit Gojo. He can manipulate that space between you and him, expanding it and creating atomic numbers in between you and him, which in reality prevents you from hitting him. So in a sense, the only real contact you can make with Gojo is when he is out of cursed energy or he doesn't have this infinity activated. Now, Satoru has kind of capitalized on this ability, taking it even further, whereas he's created a way to distinguish what is in the infinity and allow different things to touch him based on mass, speed, and danger ratings. So this is like a masterfied version of the Limitless technique in the infinity version, the basic neutral form of Limitless, which Gojo has absolutely mastered. I'm not saying that other infinity limitless users out there haven't done this before, but it seems like he's really expanded the ability of what Limitless can do. It's kind of an OP ability in its own, but Gojo has even taken that further. Next, we'll talk about curse technique Lapse O Azure. In this form, Satoru reinforces the version of the neutral Limitless. This is kind of Gojo, in a sense, manipulating that neutral infinity with a negative amount of energy and numbers. In a sense, this kind of counteracts the balance of nature. Through the creation of these impossibilities, where Gojo is adding numbers and adding things to this infinity that do not belong, it creates an imbalance in the world, forcing the world to try to correct this imbalance, which in result pulls with immense amount of pressure and energy to one spot, creating the Lapse O Azure. Next, we'll talk about curse technique Lapse maximum curse energy output Azure Glow. Yes, that is a mouthful. And this is a point where, again, Satoru has really capitalized on this curse technique. This point of attraction that he's created through the imbalance of nature, he can now move into various points around him in battle. This immense amount of attraction and force can now be used as a weapon, which is extremely overpowering and could one-shot very strong opponents. Next, we also have the curse technique Reversal Red Glow. Now this, as the name suggests, is a reversal, opposite to Azure Glow, if you will, Red Glow, where now this point that he's created where there's this immeasurable force of energy being attracted to a single point, it is actually repelling violently. So this can actually produce 2 times the destructive capability of Azure Glow. And finally, for the Limitless Technique, we have Hollow Technique Purple, which is him combining red and blue, Azure Glow and Red Glow together. And in the creation of these positives and these negatives and these imbalances being so strong and so opposite, and the world cannot correct it, it effectively just deletes everything in its path. Now this, to me, is like Satoru's trump card, much like Maharaga was Megumi's trump card. So far, we've seen nothing that can counteract this. I even dare say Sukuna wouldn't be able to survive a direct hit from Hollow Technique Purple. The only thing you can do is get out of the way. Next, we'll talk about Satoru's domain expansion, the Unlimited Void. Now, enemies that are in this immeasurable void, this unlimited void, see, hear, feel everything. The information that they're receiving from all senses are amplified to the max, and it's never ending. So it leaves them in a state of almost complete paralysis. I think personally the only way that you could counteract this void is to inhibit yourself from receiving senses, either deafening, blinding, or whatever your senses. It's the only way that you wouldn't be overwhelmed and overloaded by the information that you are receiving. We haven't seen too much of the Unlimited Void yet, but I'm sure that we will soon as Gojo is released from his seal. Lastly, I want to talk about the curtain ability, because Gojo actually can create a barrier himself, a curtain around the area himself, which is very strong, and he is capable of sealing the area from others with various techniques, various specifications, where he can seal off a single person, he can seal off cursed energy, he can seal off cursed users, humans. He has a very strong specificity in his curtains. So guys, this is my explanation of Gojo Satoru. I'm going to be doing a video coming out comparing the Zenin technique, 10 Shadows, and the House Gojo technique, Limitless, together. And then also kind of in a sense comparing Satoru Gojo and Fushiguro Megumi and seeing who is in fact stronger. So if that's something you're interested in, guys, stay tuned, stay healthy, stay safe. For now, peace out. Love ya.